Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here for the Manila Masters 2017. It is, of course, going to be the Chinese qualifiers for that event, and we are taking a look at game number 4. Invictus Gaming facing off against LGD. I'm Lyric. We're going to be joined as well by the lovely, the wonderful, the great Tsunami. Tsunami, how you doing, man? Are you looking forward to this game?
Game 4. Will IG bleed twice? They showed vulnerability. Maybe it was a little bit of overconfidence. Like we saw in that previous game, they let an Ame Morphling go completely unchecked. And like you said, it is a favorite of Ame. So it's not like LGD were just kind of picking themselves into a corner. They were picking to their strengths, and they showed their strengths, ultimately taking a pretty solid victory. It wasn't a close game at any point, I don't think, over Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, really cool stuff there. And I think that right now it's showing Invictus Gaming. This is still what they went for in the game number 3, of course. They took that. Actually, no, excuse me. They ended up going Centaur first. That was what LGD did. And then with the second pick, Invictus Gaming went Monkey King and then into CM. So now they're switching it up. They have first pick again. And every time I believe that they've had that, they've gone back for the Lifestealer. So Lifestealer first overall. This leads LGD into a Monkey King Sand King combo, which they opened the very first game with as well. Afterwards, they ended up going back into the Silencer, Faceless Void, and Shadow Fiend. But we'll have to wait and see what the rest of the picks are. For Invictus Gaming, Earth Spirit, still thinking about him. That was one of the early heroes that they ran with. Also Slardar, of course.
Yeah, last time, whenever Lifestealer was the first pick for IG, or I'm not sure if it was IG or LGD, but actually I'm pretty sure it was IG. Yeah, they went for the Slardar next, and that's what happens with all this RESPECT put towards Venomancer and Lina, heroes that will very typically not be first banned in probably most other series. Here, it has been highly contested. For IG, the Veno has been contested literally every single game, and LGD only started respecting the Lina starting with game 3, but that's the game that they won.
Yeah. Well, and then the other interesting question that comes about now, you give away, or you ban the Tinker from Invictus Gaming. We've talked a lot about OP on that hero and how much he does. We're probably also going to be seeing an eventual Terrorblade ban because of that, since it's one of the heroes that counters out Terrorblade so effectively.
5 seconds remaining.
But I'm kind of wondering now, if you're Invictus Gaming, what's going to be your other answer for the do you try and ban out the Silencer yourselves, because that was kind of the conundrum that they got in last time. They ended up saving it for a last pick for themselves. Or LGD, are you going to try and take it? Because they've already got a lot of team fight. Invictus Gaming do in some fashion, but it also could be pick-off oriented for them.
Yeah, LGD hasn't been prioritizing the Silencer too heavily themselves, and I guess nor do they seem very concerned about it. The main thing that I'm questioning right now is that given these opening picks, I fear that LGD may be falling back on old habits, and typically what they did after these picks is they went for stuff like the Faceless Void and other teamfight-oriented heroes. Like you said, the Earth Spirit is still in the pool, the Phoenix has been picked up a few times. I don't think that they're going to be able to pull that strategy. I think they should stick to what won them game number 3 and go for more pick-off oriented stuff and a carry who can really scale well into late game properly without being reliant on showing up to team fights and winning team fights.
I mean, I like the Ricky ban because it does fit within that style where if you're trying to play a pick-off oriented draft, you end up running into issues with that with Ricky because your smokes don't work as much. You're not always going to be in vision. And now with Monkey King, they kind of have that upper hand themselves where they have the roaming, support hero who can make things happen and in the late game also provide that extra bit of vision. So I think that they could go back for, something at this point like a, Lion. That fits the bill. Maybe they go for a Legion as their fourth pick.
Yeah, Legion wasn't that important last game, but it's possible that IG forced themselves into picking that OD because they wanted to make sure that Legion didn't have a good time in the mid lane. And so, as a result, once again, so much focus was placed out on everyone besides Ame's Morphling that the Morphling just snowballed out of control. So this time, IG may not put so much emphasis on getting a strong mid, and maybe more importantly, make sure that burning can scale really heavily. He's been playing a lot of Lifestealer throughout the series, and he's been doing fine on it. And especially since he has this Slardar, it's going to give a good initiation, like we saw in, I believe, Game 2. The Slardar was basically went straight into the jungle and was able to get an extremely quick Blink Dagger and start transitioning pretty well. So I hope that they keep this Lifestealer well protected and start making sure that he can scale very well into the late game, and Keeper to Light will help that out.
Yeah. That's quite nice. There's a lot of stuff and value that this brings to the table. I'm almost wondering now if Invictus Gaming are thinking about going for something like the Morphling or Anti-Mage for themselves. TA is going to be the pick for LGD, so this is much more pick-off oriented, but they can also play with a lot of tempo with this draft. You get a decent timing on your Sand King Blink Dagger. TA, of course, can get you an early Roshan oftentimes. And then you start moving around the map, finding kills, taking towers. Easy peasy.
Yeah, this is good. This is what I wanted. I wanted LGD to, as long as they pick a similar core to what Morphling, or what Ame was given last time with that Morphling, because TA, not only is she, oh, okay, well, so the one few matchup that she will have trouble with in the mid lane would be an Ember Spirit. But again, like, this is what I said was the problem last time. IG may have put too much focus on shutting down mid, as opposed to shutting down carries. And IG ban out the Terribly, which they have been doing basically all series long. They ban out the Naga Siren. I'm curious as to what they're most concerned about with a carry in this situation.
I mean, it's either Morphling or Anti-Mage, it feels like, and it's sort of pick your poison.
Yeah.
In my eye, I mean, there could be something else that I'm missing here, but that feels the most likely ones. If this is the case, is there a carry that you like more? I feel like they have another pick to answer it, and they have decent answers already. With like Slardar, Lifestealer, that's a good initiation. Lincoln Sphere isn't going to help you so much there. They've also got chains to keep them from blinking or, getting away with waveform.
Yeah, so actually it turns out that December Spirit is a surprisingly better pick than I first gave it credit for, because you're right, the root will be an issue for both an Anti-Mage and a Morphling, which there are other carry options available, but Morphling has definitely been heavily prioritized by LGD, at least as we saw in the last game, and based off of Ame's own personal history. But an Anti-Mage himself would also have trouble, because there's a lot of things that he needs to Manta Purge. It's Open Wounds, there's Corrosive Haze, there's Mana Leak, and there's Ember Spirit Root, so AM will have a very tough time. And then if you put a Silence on top of that, that even makes sure that Morphling would have a tough time. So I'm really liking IG's draft right now.
What if they just go back for another hard-hitting pressure down the towers hero? Like, they could go back for a Razor if they wanted and try and just play. It would be a departure from that style that we saw in the last game, but it could work. It's a decent game for it. And I guess that they have a lot of wave clear with Coddle too.
Yeah, but Templar Assassin does a pretty good job against Coddle, and a Razor is a pretty independent carry, and it seems that historically the way LGD has been playing Lion, they like that Lion to go around to lanes and not just sit around in the same lane all day long, and so they want a carry that isn't too babysit dependent, and that's actually surprising that they go for a Slark, because Slark has a lot of the same issues that the Anti-Mage and Morphling have. He's going to be worried about all those things that I said that he has to purge, but I guess Dark Pact is a little bit more reliable than a Manta style.
So I wonder if Invictus Gaming just aggro here. Like Coddle, Lifestealer, Earth Spirit, or even if they wanted to, they could stick Lifestealer in a one-on-one against the Sand King, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's what you do.
That feels tough to deal with. I guess Monkey King, I'm not sure how strong his tri-lane potential would be, but it feels like this is always a hero you want to aggro if you can.
Monkey King has to be roaming. Unless, yeah, he has to be roaming around. Maybe in theory they can put him in the 1v1 versus Lifestealer, because he may do a little bit better than a Sand King would, and Sand King can contribute a little bit more to this if they do want to hit the tri-lane head-to-head with their Lion and Sand King Slark versus Earth Spirit Slardar Coddle.
I mean, if they can't dual lane against a tri lane like that from Invictus Gaming. Like, Slark's just going to get eaten alive.
And you can't leave the Slark by himself either, which is why IG last banned out the Juggernaut, because that's one of the few carries that can kind of stand their ground.
Yeah, and maybe... Well, we'll have to see how it ends up working out, but...
I mean, even as the game progresses, like, the Slark is going to have issues. How is he going to catch Ember? How is he going to catch the Lifestealer?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. We're getting into it. Game number 4, life on the line for LGD. We've talked about how important this is in the more meta setting of their team in general and how much they would love to be able to get into a big tournament like this. China is just so competitive. That's the thing. Like, it's incredible. You look at what the invites even looked like for Kiev, and I was just trying to figure out how it was all going to end up working out. You had Vici J that performed well. Wings is a TI winner. You had Newbie that's obviously incredibly talented, and then on top of that, there's all these other good squads. Like, IG is the 4th best team ostensibly going into Kiev from China, and they're looking amazing. I don't know. This is a very hard region to deal with, and LGD, even though they're very talented, are coming up a little bit lacking, at least so far.
Yeah, and the other team that qualified for Kiev, IG Vitality, lost first round in this qualifier, so not only is it a strong region, but it's dynamically changing very quickly, and so LGD, which most people probably wouldn't have considered to be top-tier contenders whenever this qualifier started, have definitely proven their worth, and they have been so far the only team to take a single game off of IG.
Well, very excited to see how this one works out. If we're going to be going to a game number 5, the dream. I don't know if I've seen a best of 5 actually go 5 games in a really long time, but you got to love it when it happens. So, LGD, see if they can pull it together. They are setting up with Lifestealer up here in the top. Looks like Earth Spirit is sort of moving generally into that area. We'll see if he decides to stick around at all or not, but wouldn't be surprised to see at least a dual lane coming out from IG here.
Initially, we'll see what this Monkey King's priorities will be. The courier is already moving, and Ember does not seem too concerned. I don't know if M99 can get off the ground easily, though. He has Primal Spring.
All right, trying to go on it.
2.
That range, though.
You should have seen that coming, though. As Ember Spirit, like, they've been ready for it in games past.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it was just a Quelling Blade, but... I mean, I say that, you're going up against a Templar Assassin, you need every little bit of damage you can get. Is now another Primal Spring on the mid lane.
Oh my god, if they could do something OP here, this would be tragic. Does still have that Orb of Venom, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to do much more than force OP back and out of lane. So a very frustrating start here at the very beginning for the side of Invictus Gaming. LGD making things happen off the back of the M99 Monkey King.
Yeah, now TA has a license to kill in this mid lane. OP has no courier and 1 shared tango that's going to be on cooldown for 45 seconds. As soon as maybe hits level 2 and gets his next creep wave, OP's going to need to be very careful.
Yeah, this is a scary one indeed. Salve still at least a minute away, if not more than that, and looks like they're jumping around through the trees here. M99. Let's see if they want to try and go into XSS. Doesn't look like it's... I mean, this is scary. Oh my god, yeah, he realized that he could have gotten that very long duration stun, so has to force back down to the low ground, and they haven't been able to force the starter really out of lane at all. He's having a good time, and all across the board, LGD is having a good time. Look at the CS so far.
Yeah, definitely heavily in favor of... Well, the Sand King is definitely getting a lot more than I thought he would, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's being able to pull this creep wave, and that means that Earth Spirit is not being able to roam on the Templar Assassin. He's busy zoning out XZ Sand King, and he's picked up level 2 now, so it may be an opening to go on TA, but like I said, OP has gotten so hampered by that courier kill that it's difficult to follow up with him.
Yeah. So far, no kills. Bounty Rune's going to be secured by Yao. Does look like Boboka was able to steal one away as well. You'll love to see that. Sand King gave him a little bit of a punch on the butt on his way out as well. Applying that Caustic. And mid lane, maybe still with the Invis Rune. They could try and make something happen here, but well, it doesn't look like they decide to go in fully onto maybe. Boboka... by the way, it's worth noting, this is one of the best Earth Spirit players in China. I don't want to hype him up too much, but he's like known for it. He's an incredibly talented Earth Spirit player. And Well, now with the salve being brought out as well as a pulling blade, Ember should have a little bit better of a time in this lane.
Yeah, surprisingly, TA didn't shut him down as much as I was fearing, so Ember's still very much inside of this lane, but bot lane is going to be where the real attention is being drawn as XSS is kind of moving in aggressively, but...
I mean, I'm kind of wondering at what point they bring in more heroes to try and punish this pick a little bit. Now Bobica is here. It feels as if there is some answer.
This tree is seeing everything.
That's true. Oh, Monkey King himself. I swear, I'm never going to get used to that, like, ever.
There needs to be, like, an indicator for casters, because, like, I saw the minimap icon and I was just like, is he a ward right now? Yeah. What is this? Is he a sentry ward? No. It's just, like, a bulbous tree.
Yeah. And they are still in a pretty good spot to try and press this out. It's looking like up in the top side, the Burrow Strike will be able to get XC out of trouble. Mid lane maybe still becoming more dominant in spite of the abilities and items picked up by Ember. So OP forced to go all the way back to base. Yeah, this is rough.
Yeah, his shrine was used after that early engagement, and so Templar Assassin is having a fantastic lane right now, and I don't really think she's going to be too interested in roaming around because the rest of her team doesn't really need protection right now. At most, she'll get like a TP to go for counter ganks, but until she completes either the Desolator or the Blink Dagger, which this game I would think the Blink Dagger is probably the more likely option, but it depends on how confident maybe he's feeling with his game.
So another thing to mention here, M99, he is moving up to the high ground here and can possibly jump on Burning. They've made the full rotation, and because of the nature of this hero where you don't always have like full vision of him in lane, there's a chance that IG might not be aware of this.
True, but as a lifestealer, you're not too concerned. Like, Burrow Strike's only level 2 right now, and so the range isn't the best. Burning is still playing very safe because of all this caustic, but even once Primal Spring hits, you have Phase Boots, you have Rage. You should be able to get out of most situations as a lifestealer.
Yeah. All right.
Meanwhile, Bobica, though,
nice to do it. Able to kick him back. Trying to run. Is still in trouble, though. The right click's coming through, and
dead.
Yeah, well, poor Bobica. First blood finally going to be drawn 5 minutes in. Yao picks it up, and it looks like with that, they realized that they weren't getting much done in the bottom lane, so they pretty much have to roam around. And likewise, it's sort of a similar story for M99. He's going to come up here and just try and contest Burning's farm a little bit more. Not even trying to find for a kill necessarily.
Yeah, he's hit level 3 just based off of soaking experience in that bot lane and soaking experience now in this top lane, but that means that he's kind of slowing down his teammates as opposed to helping them out, because this Monkey King hasn't participated in anything outside of that initial courier kill and then a little bit follow-up damage. But I'm sometimes I don't really know how to recognize Monkey King's power spikes, because I feel like if he doesn't get a good start early on, then he has a tough time keeping up. But that's just wasn't the case in that previous game, and now OP.
Yeah, this should be a nice one.
Boundless.
Pretty quick and easy kill. They do end up bringing in M99. I think he got a part of some of that experience, but very nice kill. They needed that one. Actually, they didn't need that one. They're already still dominating. That just hurts Ember Spirit even further. A very tough game. Bobica going to be able to steal away one of these bounty runs as well. Yeah, I would love to have taken that one away, but not going to be the case this time. And looks like he's just going to head back towards bottom. Make sure the Slardar is, the Slark is all fine and dandy.
Which the Slark is not fine and dandy right now. XSS is significantly out-farming the Slark right now, and so... Oh man, now XSS is going to go in.
Yeah, there's the jump. Yao is still here.
Now he needs to back up. This is good baiting by Ame.
Burrow trying to turn, trying to fight the Earth Spike. What? They're going to be able to kill him off. Just a quick and easy kill. Can't get the right click onto Ame. Nice decision there by Yao to come in, and they find that.
That was a really delicate bait for a Slark, but it pays off. He didn't have level 6, so even if it started going a bit south, he was screwed, but it works out well. But now IG are grouping up top. They don't know that M99's over here. Burning's gonna wisely start chopping down some trees, and M99... Oh, nice!
Oh, M99 went a little bit too far with that one, and well, it's going to be punished. Burning picking up another kill here. Could infest the wave if he wants to, just to pop it out, but It looks like that is indeed what he's going to do to pressure this, and they'll be able to get to tower. But top lane, or bottom lane, this is where some action might come out.
XSS is pretty tanky though, and XZ, I mean, he's this level 6 Sand King, so only has 3 points in Burrow Strike, and now they're fighting near a shrine, so there's no way XZ wants to go in on this.
Yeah, he caught a glimpse of Yao as well, which signaled that he can't really get aggressive with it, but they are still going to be able to get vision onto Yao. Mana Leak, no points in it as of yet, so they won't
turn around
and
and hex, but yeah, he's not gonna.
All right, keeping it good. So I think I'd say like the winner in this laning stage for me is definitely going to be the Sand King. You compare what he's been able to get out of the laning phase. Granted, it was against a Lifestealer, and Lifestealer is top of the CS, but he is going to be much more enabled than you would have normally expected out of a Sand King at 8.5 minutes in. Like, he's almost to his Blink Dagger, has the Tranquils as well. This is going to be a nice start for him.
That's true, but the trade-off is that he is basically as farmed as his Slark is.
Right, yeah.
So it's a balancing weight, so it goes up one way, and then your safe lane suffers in the meantime. And given how heavily LGD are going to be reliant on all these chain disables, it's a great thing that Sand King's getting such a good lead, because an early Blink Dagger makes life very unpleasant for an Ember Spirit, because you're not going to know where this Monkey King is, and if you get set up with a Boundless, then immediately blink into Burrow, you are very, very vulnerable, especially now that this TA, she is going to be going for Desolator first, so she has all the time in the world to walk up to you and hit you with the fattest meld.
And I mean, the other thing that we've seen time and again, everybody buys Midas's. Slark is going to be going for it again this game. Don't know if we're going to see any more on top of that, but I don't know. It does feel like it's maybe a bit greedy. You need to be careful with it. Up here in the top lane also, you had Ember Spirit as well as the Bobica Earth Spirit. They were trying to find a kill onto the TA. Wasn't going to happen, though. And, well, maybe we have some more action down bottom as XSS and Burning are here. They're in the trees.
Yeah, Ame was able to get away with this Blink Dagger last game because he was getting freeform on that Morphling. This game, he's not getting freeform at all. This is a recovery Midas.
Yeah. Bobica still pushing out these lanes. You have TA in mid. He's going to be able to pressure this out, getting towards that Deso as you were talking about. But it does feel like right now, just very content to only get like the farm on their heroes. You can see that
King has Blink.
They're holding on to it.
He has Epicenter.
They had vision of him for a second.
They did, and he's gonna back out. That's a damn shame. That would have been a really nice kill, because it would have been basically 3 supports. The Lion isn't level 6 yet, so he doesn't have Finger, and now they're going Boundless on Earth Spirit.
That was really nice. Bobica trying to play his way out of it. Might still be in trouble. The Earth Spike comes through. They find that kill. Well needed. But we saw the jump out, the Primal Spring to get in way of the Rolling Boulder so they could contain that Earth Spirit. So really well played there. Maybe OP gonna be in some trouble here. XZ, Burrow Strike. Nope. Just gonna end up running it away.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And meanwhile, IG are taking the bot tier 1 as the rest of LGD supports went up to the top lane. So they get a tier 1, second tower that they've claimed, and so even though LGD are getting these important items like on their Sand King, they are making life harder and harder for the Slark.
Yeah. He does not seem... I think that right now, just in general, LGD do not want to fight. Their plan is get Ame farmed by any means necessary. You can take some counter initiations, but they don't seem interested at all in like trying to start the fight with Slark there. But they can maybe find a pickup here onto OP as he's starting to get dropped down, and that is going to be a pickup. So Yao getting some gold into his coffers.
As you suspected, this early Blink Dagger of Sand King is going to be really intimidating. That Ember now needs to be concerned about that kind of rotation for the next 5 or so minutes when the rest of his team doesn't have any items. Slardar is still... Well, actually, Slardar now has the gold for his Blink Dagger, so maybe they can return the favor, as we haven't seen an Infest bomb happen quite yet, but it is imminent.
Absolutely. And that is where your Slardar or your Slark can really sometimes get punished. He is getting closer to that Midas, but again, it's not going to be necessarily about fighting for him until I guess Shadowblade is probably going to be the big thing that they have to wait for before he can get involved, unless it's just cleanup crew.
And even then, once the Shadowblade comes out, TA She has her Desolator completed now, so yeah, it'll...
Oh, God.
Well,
Oh, maybe they're jumping forward. Sand King went in. That was not the play that he needed to do. He is going to be punished as well. You can understand the decision. Wants to help out his carry, but she was dead way before he could do anything about it.
yeah, and this is time spent when they're going to trade a mid-tier 1, and you had mentioned it in the draft. One of the big benefits of having a TA is early Roche control, but same thing is true for IG and their Burning, who's going to be going for a Desolator of his own, and then obviously Slardar Corrosive Haze. So her being dead and then her now giving up a tier 1 is actually quite important.
So, oh, yeah, he's going to be punished now as well. So I was about to make the comparison to last game where you saw these tier 1 towers going down, but you still had a hero with free farm in the Morph lane. First of all, Slark isn't Morph lane. That's it. You're not going to be able to control the game in the same way. And second of all, he's also not getting the same level of farm, and they're
Also
losing
true.
kills.
Also true.
So how much worse is this for LGD? It's your idea. From where you're sitting, do you feel like it's so bad that they need to start switching up their strategy, or is there anything else to switch it up to, really?
Again, it seems like LGD wanted to go for this strategy because the reason why I was debating between Blink Dagger first or Desolator first for maybe's Templar Assassin is that dictates how she wants to play. If she goes for the Blink Dagger first, then she's playing Space Creation. She's going in on these squishy supports like the Earth Spirit, like the Keeper of the Light, and maybe being able to follow up on these Ember Spirit ganks, but instead she went for farming. She's been farming up Ancients, she's been farming up Neutrals with this Desolator, so LGD were basically saying that, okay, Slark's not going to be relevant. There's no point in just risking our TA by herself. Let's make both of them late game forces as opposed to trying to split the average.
Oh, God. An OP might be able to take down M99 here.
And XC might be able to take Burning as well.
As triple Remnant. Double is only used. He's going to use another one, but, well, actually just going to hold on to it for now.
They're all down now. He needs to get out.
Yeah, he doesn't have... They know that he doesn't have one right now, so there's going to be the jump forward, and he's going to be slowed up when he does come out of this as well. So OP taking a hell of a lot of damage. There is no frame rate when a Wukong command comes out, and you're on Perfect World servers, but it doesn't take much to see that that was a kill.
No, you can... You need just 0 frames to know that Ember Spirit definitely went in a little bit too hard there.
All right. So LGD pulling things together. Pick up a regen rune. There is a smoke not yet available, but they're going to recall him up top. This is a nice play. Looking for Ame. Just used Dark Pack as well.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Oh, needs to get it off. Exy, he needs to be able to get in there. Is going to get this ulti off, though. Man, just by the skin of his teeth. And there's going to be the Burrow Strike as well to ensure that XSS does not manage to find him in range. So they do manage to escape. That was so close.
Huh. That was... Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anyone misplayed on IG. That was just narrow timing. And obviously he had Shadow Dance up so he gets out. And I don't think that Q... I don't know if he had another Illuminate, because he's been just leveling Chakra and Illuminate, and usually that means that your Illuminate comes off cooldown pretty soon, but whatever the case, Slark gets out, and it's such a good thing that he does.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's real big for their team now, and well, he is maybe getting a little bit frisky down here with Bobica. You want to party? Come over here. Well, it looks like he's just going to Dark Pack, farm up these creeps, and should be fine. So if this continues unabated, it does feel like LGD have some avenues back into this game.
Yeah, I don't really know how good Magic Ember is these days, because he has completed that Veil, and he is going for the Spell Amp talent. I mean, it's great against most squishy comps, so, I mean, Lion, Templar, Assassin, Slark, these are not traditionally tanky heroes, at least not at this stage of the game, now top lane.
Yeah, they're going to turn back around. This is pretty nice. Wukong command down as well. Q is going to get the blinding light, so he pushes him out. Nicely done there. They are on top of Monkey King, though, and looks like everybody else has decided to say, get the heck out of Dodge. They don't quite find the kill onto Lion, who does make it back home, but you can see they still managed to take down Monkey King and Sand King. All the kings are gone.
Yeah, and it was that emerging out of Infest that actually gave Burning the kill on Monkey King, which wasn't even intentional, but 2 heroes go down, and this blinding light into boundless, this blinding light out of the Wukong's command has been an issue in multiple games, or multiple gank attempts rather, and Q is seeming to save his spirit form exclusively for that, and it's working.
Yeah. That's a good answer. So you take a look at what the radius is for Wukong's command. Ends up being, what is that? Doesn't say what the range is. Or what?
I mean, he basically needs to be staying within like the middle 30% or so. But as a Monkey King who's not a core Monkey King, you're usually near the edge because you don't want to have to get into the fight.
I think actually it's so 675 radius. That's like about half as big over the top as a black hole. I think it's enough where you almost always push him out of it, right?
Well, that's the cast radius. The knockback is 525.
Okay, there you go. That's what's up.
But it's still like you need to be very delicately positioned as a Monkey King to not get bounced out, and he's not going to get that luxury, especially whenever there's a lifestealer who's just kind of eating anyone who's in his path.
All right. Well, this could be the answer. They were checking the Roshan, thinking that TA could have been going for it, but I think right now LGD just very comfortable with this slowed down pace of the game, pickoffs here and there, as long as it's not their Slark, who did end up going back for a Blink Dagger after the tread. So you want to talk a little bit about the choice between Blink Dagger versus Shadow Blade for Slarks?
He wants to be able to follow up with the rest of his team. Sand King has gotten his Blink. Lion is, I mean, he's a long ways away, but he's going to be getting it soon eventually. And then obviously TA maybe has now completed hers. So they're, as soon as they find any sort of pickoff, be it with the Monkey King's Boundless Strike, or be it with the Sand King Blink Burrow Strike, immediately the entire team will converge on them. And so you don't give an opportunity for counter initiation by IG. You don't give an opportunity for any Blinding Light plays or Slard Art crushes or magnetizes to come out. You just blow up a target and that's it.
Okay. And they're certainly in a good position to do that with these heroes too. Like TA follow up immediately is just gone. It does look like right now OP going to be pushing out this top lane. There is an infested Slardar up here in the top as well. But it looks like the smoke gank is going to be looking for a kill mid, and Bobaka might just oblige. They drop down a trap.
He doesn't know. He's
TA
on high ground.
shows. That should signal to him that she like appeared from nowhere. Thinking about going into this one, taking it down. M99 managed to find a kill up here in the bottom lane onto Q, so...
And now on Ame almost.
Oh, he's going to be able to try and escape. There's the stun. They find the kill. Oh, Bobaka just on a razor edge there. Wow.
I don't know what, like... It felt like my game was lagging or something, because I was watching mid, and Earth Spirit was just like walking casually by a Templar assassin while she was just taking a tower, and neither of them attacked each other. I guess this is because they were both watching bot, and they're like, oh snap, our Coddle's dying to a Monkey King, but TA didn't show up, and Earth Spirit did show up, and they got the kill off this carry Slark, and he had his Midas off cooldown, and I stress it every time we see these Midases, because that is a lot of efficiency lost, especially on a recovery Midas.
That's a rough one. He does not have the ability right now to deal with these heroes with Aegis on him. Like, once Epicenter is used, once all these things get thrown out, how are you going to deal with this Lifestealer? And even if you do manage, like, you have to find it perfectly when Rage is down as well. This is feeling to me like it's going to be more and more of a difficult game for LGD, and Yao still pretty substantially far away from his Blink Dagger as well.
Yeah, he's a long way from his Blink Dagger, and TA and Slark are both long ways. Oh, actually, wow, TA completes her BKB, so that's going to be pretty useful, because I was saying that once 5-on-5 engagements start breaking out, then Blinding Light is going to be a real big issue, as now Q has his Aghanim Scepter completed, and OP on the bot lane needs to be careful. Epicenter.
Yeah, they're going in. This actually might be able to work. They do have a Remnant there, but is it going to be enough damage? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. They take down OP. Big kill, but no Epicenter and no Wukong's command to hold when the pressure comes with Aegis.
That's not too big of a deal, though. I don't think they're going to defend this tier 1. TA has this fresh BKB. You don't have the Ember Spirit. They should get this tier 1, just maybe Coddle to defend. Oh, wow, they want to defend.
No, they're... I mean, I guess it's okay if you don't get an objective, as long as you slow down their ability to do things with Aegis. So, still a win for LGD.
Very preemptive ward placed between the tier 1 and the tier 2 bot telegraphed that IG were definitely keen on defending, so good call by LGD to back off.
They don't want to fight. Slark, you know, he just died recently, but he already has his Yasha. The Midas starting to pay for itself.
Oh.
Okay.
He was just farming the creep wave with that Earth Spike, and Bobica just happened to blink into it, which, by the way, Bobica has completed a blink.
Oh my god, that hero is absurd. You start to get that blink online. I will say that I do like seeing Midases on Earth Spirit. I don't remember who it was. I feel like it was some CIS team that started running it really early. It might have been Snako. As we continue to get the Yao gonna drop. But it does allow you to get into like that Aghanims a little bit earlier sometimes, I feel.
Yeah, in this game, an Aghanims would be pretty useful. Both TA and Slark can't really afford to have their targets be banished effectively, and so, especially if you combine it with the Blink Dagger, they can even turn it into aggressive plays, and so a lot of IG's supports are well farmed. Like I said, Caudal has completed that Aghanim Scepter, Slardar went for a Midas of his own, and they want to go for high ground with this Aegis.
Yep. Epicenter has come back off cooldown now. You also have Monkey King with Wukong's command up. They're ready to defend against this.
It's daytime, though.
Oh, this is so hard to deal with. All right, so, yeah, life coming back to him. God, this is just the frustrating part about Lifestealer. You can't stop it. Can't deal with it.
Yep. And he doesn't even have his AC up and running yet. They already spent Boundless Strike, which is their longest range disable. It's going to be off cooldown soon.
The plus side of this is that you did have the creep cut by maybe. So it's going to be a little bit longer before they're able to get the next creep wave in, and that holds off the push at least for a bit.
Aegis still has about a minute and a half. There's still plenty of time left on Daylight, but...
Oh, they're going for this. This is a smoke play out. This is a DD Slark. Are they really going to try and make a move here? This is so bold.
I mean, this is definitely a fake back by IG, and right now, neither... Well, okay, so Dire Team sees Radiant leaving, and they see actually TA, but they don't know what the Slark and the Sand King are up to.
Oh my god, please, computer, servers, anything. It's going to end up working out. 8 to 9, you take a look at the net worth lead, as has been the case throughout this series. Very even in terms of net worth, back and forth. Not really a whole lot more than 1,000 net worth separating these two teams throughout the whole course of this game. Experience a little bit into the favor of LGD because of that split pushing, but the big determining factor is going to be how do these team fights work out. And right now it feels like IG have a lot more in the tank than LGD do.
Yeah. Aegis is timing down, but Monkey King has thankfully completed a Basher, so a little bit more mitigation for this Lifestealer, but again, it's still daytime, and it's so difficult to have to deal with this Rage plus Illuminate heal.
Getting ready to go. There's the stun. Follow up as well. They're on top of him. Earth Spike. XSS goes in. The counter initiation play comes out with that Burrow Strike. Is it going to be enough though? Ame silence for the moment. Able to get the Dark back off. Turns now to fight. Isn't able to stop Burning though from taking down that tower. The Aegis does expire. He's still going to get all the regen from it. So they will back out with that. But that gives them access to the shrines. Very important that they get that right there.
I don't really know why Slark was last picked here. Like, you saw the Slark enter, and he used Shadow Dance to initiate. He has a Blink Dagger, and yet still had to go immediately into Shadow Dance. This was not an evasive Shadow Dance. This was like, I'm gonna take some Essence Shift. Oh, never mind. I gotta go now, guys.
Oh, this would be a big kill if they could find these guys on the way out. Burning. There's the Hex to start it off. They're on top of him. BKB pop. They want to try and take this guy down. Maybe on top of him. They don't quite get it, but they finally bring him down. And now Eul's Scepter lifting up this Ember Spirit. He does have one remnant away, but there's the Bash trying to escape fully, but OP is still in trouble. They're on top of him. They find that kill to boot. Bobica trying to save the life of his cores. It does look like he will be able to get away with his own life. But that is mid and safe lane gone for Invictus Gaming. So a pretty big swing back into the favor of LGD.
It was a real half-hearted siege on the bot shrine. They were chipping it down, and then they kind of lost interest because they were like, we haven't seen LGD for a while. And then they were like, they're probably not coming. And then Burning started to approach high ground again and immediately got punished for it. Thankfully, they only take down a mid-tier 2 in terms of objective damage, but it's you're giving a Slark a chance when he should not really have a chance this game.
All right. Yeah, it is surprising how much Ame's been able to get done on this hero in spite of, like, you look at the net worth right now, and the top two are still there for LGD. You've got Maybe, who's incredibly farmed, and I think that in some ways with these instant disables, the Blink Dagger done on Yao, they have answers to Lifestealer. Even when he has to have an Aegis. But even if he doesn't have an Aegis, there's still some answers, because as soon as the Rage wears off, they've got that chance to initiate and not really commit any big ultis for it.
Yes, but that's kind of dependent on Burning, like, playing it loose and fast, right? Because no one's forcing him to stay in the high ground position whenever Rage is down, and they don't have any BKB piercing disables on LGD aside from a lucky bash on Monkey King.
Right.
And that, like, he has no way of really easily getting in to hit a Lifestealer, let alone get the bash. So it's every single time it's daytime, I think IG are just going to play that same strategy, and now that Lifestealer has completed this Assault Cuirass, it's even more difficult to go up against.
Okay. Well, we'll have to watch. It looks like right now LGD, wanting to take full advantage of that nighttime, are going to pressure out, see if they can take over some map control. They have wards in the enemy jungle, but it does look like IG, realizing something could be afoot, are going to back out. And Ember Spirit actually... Oh, now they spot him. This is a really good ward. Oh, they're on top of him. There's the catch. He's going to be slowed. No Remnant out, and he will end up dropping. So a huge kill again, going the way of LGD. They want to go to a game number 5, Tsunami.
They're doing their damnedest to make it happen. It's part of it is LGD, or like they're not. Why was Ember by himself over there?
Yeah.
And then why would he not Remnant all the way back to the fountain? You know how much Blink initiation is on the team of LGD. Even if you have a Blink of your own, which he does, it's not guaranteed to escape in these situations. And now Exorcist is kind of doing the same thing, bot lane.
And we talked about it earlier as well, as yeah, he is going to end up taking a good bit of damage, not able to find the kill. Fortunately for Ame there. He ended up going for a Diffusal Blade on this Slark. Do you like this choice?
Coddle built up a Ghost Scepter pretty early on, and as we've seen time and time again, this Coddle is proving to be a real menace. So I think the game plan for this Slark with this Blink Dagger and Diffusal is he is going to loop behind every single siege and try to pick off this Coddle, and he's going to have an opening because there's no gem up yet on IG. And so, if you kill the Coddle, the rest of IG start falling very easily, I think, especially during daytime.
Wow. Well, and right now, trying to take full advantage of this, it looks like LGD are going to be able to sneak a Roche. This is huge. And I don't know if IG are going to try and fight into this, but it could be a bit of a, well, misplay, a blunder, possibly. They are going to be able to kill off the Sand King. BKB pop for Maybe turning to fight. Do they want to take this full engagement? Slark is in. He's taken down XXS and now trying to find more. They have another Boundless Strike if they want to throw it now down onto OP. But it looks like without a ton of vision, LGD not comfortable continuing to take that fight. But Yao, M99, they're controlled. The support's left completely alone. Oh no. Oh no, this is not who was meant to be alone here. Ame jumps back in, okay. Now Burning's on top of him. He pops his Shadow Dance. Still going to be stunned here for the moment. Maybe he's jumped into it as well. They're trying to turn 5. They kill on Burning. They are not quite going to be able to bring him down. They turn a fight onto Ame. They kick him away. Bobica with the plays. Oh, that was beautiful. What? Oh, and now the crush. They're not going to be able to quite catch him. That was so well done.
This dude... It has a Guardian Angel, and there is no Omni-Knight, there is no Dazzle. This is the second time that Ame has gotten out with critical HP. Earlier on, he baited that starter and during the laning phase, and got out with barely anything. I got nothing. I hope you weren't slideshowing for that.
Oh, I definitely was.
Every frame.
I definitely was. It's fine though, because Q is dead. Yeah, no, it's feeling like LGD. It's more than a comeback at this point. It is looking quite good. And I think it's just, again, showing the power of these instant disables against this lineup that kind of needs to be on the aggressive. They need to be the ones that are instigating the fights. But M99 giving them vision, all these great wards in the jungle as well. LGD have the answers.
And TA still has Aegis as well. Both Earth Spirit and Monkey King see each other and they're like, hey dude.
What's going on?
How's the high ground?
Oh, good blink. Caught the Boundless Strike.
And yes, there is tons of Radiant Vision all over the Dire's half of the map, and so this aggressive initiation is going to continue relentlessly every single time any one of these heroes. Like, it used to be a 2-hero initiation necessary. Like, you needed the Sand King and then the Lion need to show up, or you needed the Monkey King and then the TA needed to show up. Now, as long as one of them gets the jump, there are so many Blink Daggers on LGD. There are, what, 4 Blink Daggers. The only one who doesn't is the Monkey King, and he has, you know, an infinite range stun anyway, so...
Right. You know, it's really telling. You look at the wards that they have on LGD, they're in somewhat unusual places as well, where it's unlikely to get dewarded. And then for Invictus Gaming, they have 1 ward, which is currently under a sentry, so probably going to get taken down pretty shortly. Like, this is... It's just the vision game is severely working into the favor of LGD, which is surprising because you have a Coddle. But OP may be in some trouble to get the counter initiation coming out, but the BKB has already been popped. OP is going to drop. That's Ember out. He does have buyback. Might need to use it, but already maybe a bit too late as Burning going to get chased inside the base here. Bobica is gone upon as well by Amit, but they're not able to quite kill him off. So they do finally buy back now on the Ember. A stun onto 2. Chains as well. Triple Remnant forward, and OP maybe going to be able to bring down XZ as well. He goes for the Sandstorm, trying to escape. There's the counterplay. He wants to save this gem desperately. Boundless Strike connects onto 4. M99 will eventually be brought down, and now it looks like TA will get the blink away, but is it going to be enough? Still has Butterfly, turns to fight, but it was never going to be enough. So they get out somehow, some way with the Sand King gem, but they do lose everybody else.
Half the reason why the past few fights have been going so well for LGD is because they've been doing them at nighttime, and this time Slark, which I don't know if this was Slark's primary objective, but he did not do anything about the Coddle, and so after 1 Dark Pact was used, he got Blinding Lighted, and he was missing a lot, activated BKB, started right-clicking people, had to use a lot of Diffusal charges, and ultimately they did kill the Lifestealer, but at such an expensive engagement, and this is what happens whenever you fight into a Coddle during daytime.
And they do have a gem on the Dire now as well, so that will help clean up some of the vision. You can already see how much has been taken off.
Oh yeah,
now from
all 4 of the
gone.
wards that we saw have vanished.
Likewise, Invictus Gaming are going to have a little bit of a better time with it. And your Slardar is going to continue to get farmed. He has that Midas. They're all set up and ready to go with another Slardar Lifestealer combo. Who do they catch this time? Xy's on the high ground.
Coddle season.
Oh, yep, there's the jump away. Good reaction time. Still 4 Saf away, and well, they get the amp damage on him, but we'll get the Yule Scepter to purge it off. So that rotation not going to mount to anything, but we talked about it earlier. Aghanim Scepter on Earth Spirit. It's here. It's time.
Oh boy. Now, if anyone can pull it off, it's Bobica, because I've been seeing a lot of Aghanim Scepters being picked up, and Earth Spirits have such a hard time like dealing with that range nerf on the Remnant, because you have to get in so close, and against LGD's team, like, I fear that Bobica may be walking into some Earth Spikes or some Burrow Strikes, or going face first into a Monkey King Wukong's command, but if they can use it aggressively, if they can get the initiation and just like stone someone and then kick them back to the team, that's probably what IG are hoping for.
Yeah, or even just, you know, defensively, it's great too. These heroes from LGD are so single target focused. Lion, Blink Hex, Finger of Death. You've got, you know, Templar Assassin. Sure, there's some spread damage, but you're focused on 1 target. Burrow Strike can be AoE, obviously, but it's still that single target aim, and of course everything that Slark brings to the table. And if you can save 1 as they blow their whole load onto 1 hero, it's not going to really amount to much.
Yeah, and so right now during nighttime, IG are playing it cool, and LGD have to push out these lanes. They don't have the best map control, as we saw. They've reclaimed some of it with their own gem, but it's mostly defensive wards compared to the aggressive wards which we saw earlier. And so, even though it is nighttime and this is their time to shine against a Keeper of the Light, it's difficult because they need to find a pick before they can start threatening high ground.
Yeah. It has been a pretty impressive job of getting all those D wards out still, though. And you can see that you do have 1 here that everybody has vision of OP farming. But they're trying to set up now in towards the mid lane. The other nice part about this is you have the TA traps, which you can spread all around the map as well. For that extra little bit of vision. But LGD wanting to get aggressive. Still 2 minutes until daytime.
Oh, Daedalus on TA.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, she's been farming. Has consistently been topping the net worth charts despite... Well, I mean, even whenever IG were somewhat in the lead, TA was still farming like crazy, and so... She is a very potent damage dealer right now. Lifestealer has 6k less net worth than the TA.
Yeah, that's pretty absurd. I mean, you can see over here to the side, Ember Spirit trying to get his farm on. We'll eventually go back now after the lane gets pushed out. But it does feel like, you know, that next Aegis is going to maybe be what LGD wait for. Don't want to overstep their bounds too much. Ame, he just finished off an item, so being able to save and make sure you have buyback might be also worthy of their time.
Yeah, he's working on this Abyssal Blade right now. Does he have the... Oh, the Basher's getting sent on the Courier, so that will also be a very important pickup for him.
Yeah. For now, still waiting. I can't even imagine how stressful it is right now for LGD. Granted, when you're in the game, you're probably not thinking about it too much. You're just sort of focused on playing to making the right decisions, but one game away from elimination... There's been a lot said about this team and how far they could go because you've got a collection of very talented players. And to get knocked out of this tournament here would just be devastating, I'm sure, to team morale.
But they're looking good right now, at least.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're able to keep their cool, because it can all disappear in a flash. We haven't even really seen this Ember Spirit be a relevant force yet. And he's been giving a lot of farm priority in the past few minutes. He's catching up to this Lifestealer, which, of course, does mean that Lifestealer kind of falls behind, but it's not too big of a deal if you're giving it to another core.
Absolutely. So, well, Abyssal Blade, I mean, I kind of... Oh, man, it's a really long roach respawn timer, too. It's like the longest one possible, almost.
At least we have a smoke on IG.
What do you think about the Echo Saber late game for the Monkey King here?
With Wukong's command high ground sieging, it's great. Oh boy.
Oh my god. Oh, there's a big initiation. Yao's gone in an instant. They get the BKB off. They also get the Wukong's command off, but he is already going to go down. Burning finds that kill. Ame trying to take down Q here is going to be able to do a good bit of damage, but the Eclipse did basically nothing. And Gem on the ground. Can they salvage this? They turn now onto Burning. Burrow Strike is there, but they turn onto Ame as well. He's going to drop. Maybe trying to find the kill, but XD able to get out. XXS, excuse me. Triple kill for Burning. Again, Sand King able to escape. But man, that one hurt, and there's no buyback. There is no damn buyback. This is going to probably be a lane of racks, if not possibly game, if they realize it.
Yeah, the tier 2s are still up for Radiant, thankfully, and so they get a little bit of armor against this siege. So one Rax is going to go down for sure, and at least one tier 2, possibly one more tier 3 after that. Which I'm surprised that everyone's hanging out bot. Someone should be pushing out mid right now. Oh, great. Well, Ember was BOTing there, and then it got canceled because the creep died. So,
oh no!
So much for that.
Oh, that's frustrating, I'm sure.
They take one Rax. Yeah. So, I don't suppose throughout any one of those 5 frames of that fight that you know who Earth Spirit and Chant Remnanted, because, like, I was looking for it, and then it was kind of camouflaged by the Wukong's command, and I was just like, who got turned into a rock here? Yeah, because it was on cooldown. Okay. I don't know who, but part of me is assuming that that was pretty
probably
important.
Probably the Slardar.
Yes, that would make sense, seeing as how he did initiate and then somehow managed to survive the entire engagement, so yeah, I would buy that.
Okay. Well, really well played, and again, it speaks to the fact that you've got all these single target oriented heroes. They try and blow up the Slardar at the start, and Chant Remnant comes out, you can't do it. And probably the big thing there is, you know, just this ward. I'm assuming that this was also up there at that start of that engagement, which means that you've got the vision to set up the fight the way that you wanted. Granted, it was still all crazy because it was teams smoking into each other and everything else, but yeah, it's a rough one.
Well, I mean, that and the fact that it had turned to daytime at that point, and so Q knew all and saw all, and it will continue to be daytime for another minute and a half, so this tier 2 is getting backdoored. It's a bit slow because for some reason Burning is the only person right-clicking it. The rest of his team is way too scared of initiation.
I mean, they're still behind. Not substantially like it was before. It was up to 10K.
I mean, 2K net worth at 43 minutes.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's an asterisk, if anything. And so they're gonna take this. They have Aegis. They have daytime for another minute. They're gonna take this last tier 2.
I'll have to see if they can do it. IG, again, so close to being able to go to that Manila tournament. They've already qualified for DAC. They've qualified for Kiev. Are they going to make another one? Would definitely give them a lot of momentum going into these other big tournaments as well.
And hell, probably makes them a shoo-in for a TI invite as well.
We'll see. I mean, you got to perform still when you're at the event as well.
True, true.
But yeah, Burning up front and center, gets hit one time, has
Also,
evasion.
Lincoln's
but...
on top of that, so
Oh my
he's
God.
getting healed, he's raged up, he has Aegis.
That is depressing. Oh, jeez. What do you do?
And he has Bobica Enchant Remnant if
Yeah.
things really start getting bad.
Well, there's the Earth Spike. They just pull him back in because Geomagnetic Grip is a thing. They pop
True,
the BKB
true,
for
true,
Ame. Oh, Lord.
Shrine
oh, Lord.
used.
This is not... I don't think they can stop this.
Nice, nice. Game-winning deny right there.
Value and a half, but... Oh. This is just painful. There's nothing they can do. They get the Burrow Strike on it, 2 in the back. The Earth Spike to follow. This isn't a bad way to start it. Wukong's command from the high ground. They're controlling, trying to kill him off. Another Geomagnetic Grip. Bobica keeping his buddy alive, and they infest into XSS. Oh, it looked
now
pretty.
Lion.
But is it going to be enough? Yao, too big for his britches. And that's a dominating spree for Burning. They don't get a kill. They use their ultis. And now reset time.
Well, it's nighttime, so chances are they'll back off. They're happy with what they got.
Okay.
And Slark had the right idea. He was going in on the Keeper of the Light as soon as it turned to night. But I think he used his Diffusal Blade too early, because I saw Q walking around really slowly as an ethereal form Coddle, and I saw Slark just staring at him, even though he has his level 2 Diffusal, so he definitely wasn't out of charges, but whatever the case, Ame wasn't able to contribute to what the rest of LGD were doing, and as a result, IG gets out unscathed and still have the Aegis for about another minute and a half, as now Ember.
Oh. I mean, he's slowed up for the moment, but God, oh, BKB pop for Ame. I think it's time to bail. Maybe they can find something else here, though. Maybe on top of, and they take down XXS and Q. He's under some trouble as well. They're able to get that Diffusal Blade off. Ame trying to bring him down. Burning is still here, large and in charge, though. The Hex is down, trying to find that kill. They aren't quite going to be able to get him. He is still very low inside that hero. Burning jumps out now, and it looks like Bobica able to kick away the Slark. That was such a good play. Ame forced out of the fight by that. Oh, man. And that's 3 dead. And you do have buyback right now on TA, but Monkey King as well as Sand King are not going to be around for this one.
Yeah, and 2 buybacks were spent by IG. Both the Slaughter and the Keeper both bought back for that, but that's not a big concern at all. They are the sieging team. If they die again, it's a minor inconvenience. The most important thing is if you're able to take this last tier 3.
All right, now it is still nighttime for another 2 minutes, but it does not feel right now as if they care at all. They're able to jump immediately onto OP, trying to bring him down. The Geomagnetic Grip again going to keep OP alive. Maybe pops his BKB, tries to man up against Burning. It's not going to be enough. I don't think it was ever going to be enough. They're able to get a good bit of damage out of him, so only down to half HP. He's still got the armlet toggles. He's still got everything. He's still got Aegis. They're trying to bring down Bobica here. They're draining away his mana, but Burning is now on top of maybe. They are still not going to bring down this Lifestealer. XZ jumps in. He's doing whatever he can, but Burning finds another one. Unstoppable streak. He is finally going to lose that Aegis.
He has rage when he comes up.
Oh, there we go. There's a first hit bash. That's not bad. They take the kill. Okay. So they bring it back and bring down Burning.
And
Maybe
Slaughter
try
is
to get
dead
some
for
more.
a good 100 seconds, and oh man, Ame wants more.
Yeah, they're
He's
able to
gonna
find
get
him. Another
Oh.
kick away.
Oh.
Bobica.
He has a
The
blink
dream.
up on Slark though.
Oh,
my
they've got a blink
God.
out for Bobica. He's going to do it. This guy plays some Earth Spirit, everybody. Oh,
Okay, well,
man.
now is their time. At the very least, you need to force out a Lifestealer buyback, because you know that the Slaughter is going to be dead for a while. Unfortunately, it will be daytime in 40 seconds, and so that push becomes very intimidating.
Well, I'm feeling like there's something here. You got 20 stacks roughly of Essence Shift for Slark left. They might be able to force out this buyback. And again, a reason why maybe you needed to wait for the daytime on IG. The backdoor protection's disabled.
TA is kind of far behind though. She needs to get over here.
We still have BKB for Ame.
Whoa.
They jump forward, break the Hex on top of OP. Maybe wants to find the kill. There's going to be the Boundless Strike as well. Focus now, Objective Gaming, but the Glyph is already there. Wukong's command comes out as well. Going to bash up Bobica, keeping him contained for the moment, and they're still hitting this tower. It is going to drop Etsy. Another really good stun, but there's good pushback. Yule Scepter lift up. Yao needs to get out, as does XZ. He's in trouble. Can Burrow Strike far away, but will end up dying nonetheless in the end. Hex turning on to Bobica. He's going to end up dropping, but Bernie,
so
he TPs to the
tanky.
shrine. Nicely done there on top of and killing off that Monkey King. And Ame, he wants these kills desperately, but he's still going to take so much damage and able to get the Dark Pact off before the Abyssal Blade finds the kill. But now you got 2 minutes with no maybe. That should be probably close to it. There's a couple buybacks, but Ame would just need to play his little heart out for this one to work.
They'll fight for Megas. They have to fight for Megas. But that's really all they have going for themselves.
Well,
Radiant structures are fortified.
yeah, this is a tough one. This is a mighty tough one. Ame jumps forward and catches on to Bobica, but again, just going to be pushed back.
He doesn't have his Shadow Dance for like another 25 seconds, and yet IG does not care. They want Megas.
They're making the correct decision here, I believe. Yao will throw out, Hex. He's still silenced, and they just eat him up. Ame doing his best. Lion buys back. There's a Burrow Strike there as well. Slark buys back. Epicenter comes out. It's still not going to be enough, though, as, well, Wukong's command, there's not frames in this world that are going to be enough to deal with this. But I think that is probably going to be about it. Ame will end up falling here as he comes out of the Shadow Dance, and that should be the game. IG are going to qualify for the third major tournament in a row. Burning is back, baby. It's happening.
And now maybe people need to start considering Lifestealer his signature hero instead of Anti-Mage, because he has consistently been doing work on it. And, well, IG as a whole did work. They went throughout this entire qualifier only dropping one game, and it was in this series. And maybe they proved that it was a fluke because they promptly take game 3. It was the closest game, I would say, of the series. So LGD definitely, gave the people their money's worth, but it just seemed that consistently IG was one step ahead.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with them, honestly. Again, I won't apologize for all the lag, but it's important to keep in mind that the context of this game, Invictus Gaming have really become this powerhouse in China because you have the big invited teams. You got Newbie, you got Wings. They're going to tournaments. Vici J, after their performance in Starladder, much the same. But this is teams that are going to all of these events by virtue of qualifying, which shows that, like, to me at least, there's maybe a little bit more legitimacy in that. It shows that they have what it takes.
They got the hunger.
Right, exactly. And I'll admit that I was flaming Burning about a year or so ago because I felt like he was just garbage, but he has come back with a vengeance, man.
It's the renaissance of those vintage carries. A lot of people were saying Loda is coming back as well, and maybe it's 7.0x. It's a brave new world.
Yeah. Well, really cool stuff to see Invictus Gaming there. Unfortunate for LGD. Again, I think that China is just such a hotly contested region at this point that, I mean, you can't sleep on anybody. We've been giving a lot of love to Burning. I would say that Bobica also played his little heart out in this set, playing on the Monkey Kings earlier, playing on the Earth Spirit. This game just looked fabulous.
Those Rikis.
Yep. He always felt like he was an impactful part of the team fight, even on Ricky in like the late game. Who does that? Who makes plays on Ricky at like the 45-minute mark? Like, what the hell? Tsunami, any final thoughts on this before we sign out?
I'm looking forward to seeing what IG bring at Kiev. Most of the qualifier teams aren't really favorites, but given how much IG has been playing recently, given how strong they're looking in 7.03 specifically, I would consider them to be a definite dark horse candidate to make it, definitely to top 3, top 4.
All right. Well, we'll see if they end up being able to do it. And of course, the Manila Masters tournament, it's going to be taking place after Kiev. Starts on the 26th of June, it looks like. And it's going to be a great event. Already Evil Geniuses, OG, Newbie, Team Secret, and now they're also going to be joined by Invictus Gaming. There's still 2 more qualifiers to be played, 1 more direct invite to be announced. And it's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be wonderful. Thanks again for all you guys for watching. Again, apologize for the lag that we experienced. Tried VPNs, tried restarting the computer, or started restarting Dota, everything else in between. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for myself, Lyrical, as well as Tsunami. We're going to sign out now, and we'll see you guys next time for more Dota 2 action. Have yourselves a good old day.